This is our third day on the trail. I'm in near Tupelo, Mississippi at Natchez State Park, where we spent the night. Hot as crap. Biggest problem we're having is staying hydrated, to be honest with you. And everything's wet. And we haven't found a good way of keeping everything dry yet. That's been our biggest problem. Still riding in Mississippi. Got up this morning just before I left. I was checking the bike and I noticed that the bolt holding the top case was loose. I just tightened that up before we left. I also found that two of the clamps holding the top case onto the rack had broken. So currently I've got straps holding those down. We took off and just went down the road, stopped for gas. While we stopped for gas, I noticed that 2 of the 3 bolts on my front cowl were missing. So didn't have any bolts the right size, so that's zip tied now. Really enjoying riding with these guys. They're very experienced compared to me. Actually, I've got no experience that anybody would be. Guy leading right now, he about 20 years off-road. Very seldom rides on the road. And he really takes his time. He doesn't rush, makes good decisions. He knows when to take a break. He knows what to tell you too, which I appreciate that. He's really helped me a lot. Not in the riding sense, but in just how to keep your head straight. Because this can get you going. Your macho can kill you out here or get you hurt. He's a pilot. I think pilots tend to, if they're trained well, are good pilots, tend to be that way. In fact, both these guys are pilots. One's a private pilot, general aviation, and the other Vietnam era helicopter pilot that spends his whole career flying and being a flight instructor and managing pilots. Real nice guys, both of them, to put up with me. This is very typical of what we've been seeing in Mississippi. Sometimes it's rougher, sometimes it's smoother. This stuff is funny. The bike's all over the place. It's a lot easier standing than it is sitting. Riding through a really nice forest. On this road a few miles now. Those of you that don't know, a lot of times when you're off-road you stand up, especially in little squirrely areas like this, because the bike just floats under you. You're trying to sit on it. It's disconcerting. I end up squeezing the bars. You really got to let them float. It's much easier when you're standing. Hold the bars, your hand loose. She just kind of floats along. Steer a little bit with your knees and your feet. You just kind of push down the peg and it'll go that way. Still in Mississippi, at one of the little back roads. I imagine we'll hit there eventually. Just stopped at a little Exxon station. I tell you, I love the service stations here. They all have a good grill. This one had a bunch of chicken, which I didn't get, but it sure looked good. But I did have Baskin Robbins world-class chocolate. Perfect thing on a 95-degree day. Oh, here comes the dirt. Dirt. Create a little space here in case somebody goes down. I don't want to run over their head. There'll be some sand in here, I think. You have to be careful. I think we're in a national forest. It's a little bit different than what we've been on. It's not that gravelly stuff so much. I mean, there's been some, but hasn't been any laid down in a while. It's kind of nice in here. A little bit cooler. A 3-mile stretch on this road. This is kind of what I think about when I think of forest roads. Except North Carolina would be less sunshine. Those are big old trees. Try another little clip. riding in Mississippi. This is typical of a lot of what we've seen. This gravel can get pretty deep, which makes it treacherous. Yesterday I rode through some pretty good mud holes. I had trouble climbing one hill. I was about halfway up this hill in a curve. There just all of a sudden there were huge ruts, foot deep ruts every place. I got through those, but just as I got out of them, it bounced me over to the left, ended up in the ditch. I mean, that wasn't deep, it was only a few inches deep. The problem I had getting out was my left foot and left foot peg tangled up in the kudzu. So I had to stop, and that's when you get stuck, when you stop. Guys helped me get it out. We took a break then because it was hot as crap. I was dehydrated. It was fun. There's only been a couple of spots where I felt incapable of riding it. I've never done water crossing, so I've been slowly eased into those. Haven't done any really difficult ones. The only really hard one we did, we all walked it. Took 2 guys to get each bike across. Very treacherous. That was still while we were up in the Blue Ridge, East Tennessee. Man, it was an awful one. It's like crossing a saw blade.